Say that respectfully. It's not, and that's okay. No, they can say though, we got that. My cousin, that's okay. I'm not your genuine love respect, and my content is not for everyone. It's not. To the genuine ones with no intentions, I truly hope all is well in your end, and I truly hope that you continue to find peace within regards to who gave up on you or overlooked you during your journey. You matter and you are worthy. My content is not for everybody, and I say that respectfully. Healing trauma and pain is not a race or an overnight process, let alone a competition. Never give up on yourself when someone gives up on you or overlooks you during your journey, and I say that respectfully. When someone says you ain't got potential and they trying to humble you, never get discouraged, and I say that respectfully. Living in fear wasn't in your vocabulary. They tried to discourage you right there, but you didn't reject you because you understood that, hold on 1 second, the power of prayer going within can truly work. Understanding your faith, don't lose hope another day. That energy is different, regardless was not rooting for you. It was never for likes and views of cloud chasing when you had to heal when they try to abuse you. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. Today is currently July 24th, 2025, and I say that respectfully. My content is not for everyone. It's not. You ain't stalking this realm till it's your household, and you're not doing it for likes and views or cloud chasing. I say that respectfully. You know, when the right community is truly for you, gang stalk is not part of their vocabulary. They actually know how to partner their mans to respect their name, but the energy is different when it comes to growth, when it comes to elevation. The energy is different. So actually going with it. To have a guilty conscience now wasn't part of their vocabulary. They actually wanted to sleep good at night. They actually knew how to protect their neighbor, to actually respect their neighbor with no malicious intentions. Everybody ain't got hidden agendas when it comes to respecting their neighbor. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions, and I say that respectfully. I may not make sense to the average person, but that's okay. Because you're not for me. No, I ain't gonna check on me, goddammit. Why you watching me watch me disturb your own goddamn peace? There's no need to send the evil eye over here, motherfucker. No, I can change on me. What the fuck wrong with these folks? You got all that energy, you can love you. Value your time and day. You want to throw stoic right to left to confuse you. You trying to figure out if it's actually working. You don't want someone to actually have potential. You try to rob them mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, even try to make them homeless, to try to discourage them, shadow ban them right to left so nobody can sit here thinking at the end of the day when it comes to their con, just hold on 1 second, they actually have one to do the thinking. Regardless what they're going through mentally, physically, emotionally, hold on 1 second. You want them to be mentally unstable. You want them to live in fear, but hold on 1 second. God works in mysterious ways. When God fixed that baby's crown, the energy is different than matter tax bracket with your bad habits. How this type of stuff actually happens every single day when you least expect it when it comes to gang stalking. When it comes to folks playing with spell in a toxic way, regardless if they're in a cult or not. How it takes a hatred and disrespect the innocent person because someone understood their faith. The energy is different when they was never in competition with their neighbor. They don't want certain folks that surpass their people. Or because someone truly knows how to go and understand their intuition, being an authentic self, someone truly had potential. How they shadow ban you because hold on 1 second, you was showing up for yourself and you was never in competition with your neighbor on your rainy day, good day, bad day, misunderstanding day. That vocabulary is different, being authentic, actually going within. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. I'm far from a hater, but gang stalking is real. Just because it's not happening in your household, it's happening in someone's household. Down to hacking your devices, trying to blackmail you against you, paint you out to be the villain of someone's story at the end of the day, or because they lack self-confidence when it comes to their authentic love, they forgot to go within a love. It's train of thought for me how they can trade it. They create a hate train. How this type of stuff actually happens, how they don't want you to balance your crown. They want you to crash out. They steal your documents because they work in certain departments. Or they pay this person, pay that person. Matter of fact, they make someone's conscience mentally unbalanced when they least expect it. Don't spoke at an innocent person, or because they want to get their way with malicious intentions, so they can discourage the next person with trying to humiliate them, trying to rob them mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, even make them homeless, so they can't weather their own storm. Hold on 1 second. Was it that you that day? You know, my content is not for everyone. Never give up on yourself because someone gave up on you or overlooked you during your journey. And I say that respectfully. Loving yourself is not a crime. It's not. The gang stalking is real until it's your household. And folks be like, nobody's going to hear you. Because we're going to paint you up to be the villain of our story. How folks will truly be in the background. Even if you're trying to get your life together to make you homeless. Or because you spoke up for yourself, keeping it real. They said that was the wrong mistake for you to do. And they got to project you to be mentally ill. Always be yourself and don't listen to and I say that respectfully. But gang stalking is real to your household. You're not doing it for likes and music cloud chasing. I'm far from a hater. And I know how to respect my neighbor even days when they can't weather their own storm. How about you, neighbor?
Catch your blessings, don't dim your light. Catch your blessings, don't dim your light. Neighbor, 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 far from a hater. Neighbor, 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 far from a hater. Neighbor, 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 far from a hater. Don't dim your light, neighbor, neighbor, neighbor.
That ain't just different. Don't dim your light, neighbor. Far from a hater. That vocabulary is different when it comes to unconditional love, love. Going within to maintain that smile. You overcame a storm they would never understand how. They was throwing sport right and left, but you didn't reject yourself because God was protecting your mental health. They was doing come to me spells, throwing spoke in a toxic way, doing beauty magic behind closed doors because they didn't want you to see the beauty that started within. But who would have knew that confidence would allow you to see the goal within? Or just in that mindset, who would have knew? Relapsing, nah, that wasn't part of your vocabulary when it came to time and day. That's what the enemy was calling, knocking on your door for. They wanted you to shortchange yourself when it comes to unconditional love.
I love myself not to dim my light. I love myself not to dim my light.
The energy is different. Always be yourself and don't molest sentence, and I say that respectfully. Go on within, neighbor. They gave up on you during your journey when you needed the most. Only to realize you was overthinking, only to realize the whole of 1 second, you allowed yourself to grow the most. You allowed yourself to grow to be your biggest cheerleader. It was never for likes and views of cloud chasing the fame, going within, understanding that hold on 1 second, I understand my reality when God allowed me to feel, allowed me to heal, I was worthy. They didn't know how to protect me, let alone love me. But I couldn't shortchange myself for my blessing, not to hurt myself another day with words. That vocabulary is different. Unconditional love. Believing in faith when you least expect it, finding peace within because God gave you balance, acknowledge your work when it comes to knowledge. It was truly power at the end of the day. That's why the enemy tries to flex on you, to discourage you, try to shortchange you when it comes to, hey, train, oh, because you was wanting to choose you. You wasn't running from your past, the energy is different. Acknowledging your worth, the he say, she say, hold on 1 second. It was truly they pointless conversations. You didn't get lost in someone's words at the end of the day. Because you continue to elevate in the most healthiest way. Even when they was throwing spell at you right to left. You saw the enemy for who they truly was, but God was really protecting you, showing you at the end they ain't gotta get physical.
No, ain't the shade gonna be known for real. This type of stuff actually happens. No, for real, for real.
Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. I'm nice and respecting them fall for my hate, and I say that respectfully. They don't want you to weather your storm. They don't want you to pour into that fruitful cup that can actually blossom. You know, with certain testimonies that you almost lost yourself, but God allows you to feel while you truly heal. I'm not projecting God on you, but hold on 1 second. Only time will allow you to heal. I'm far from a hate that didn't run through my vein. But I truly hope one day that you become your best soul vision of yourself, neighbor. That ain't just different. Always be yourself with no malicious intention. I say that respectfully. I'm not here genuine love respect, and my content is not for everyone. It's not.
Loving yourself, the body yourself, never dim your light. Loving yourself, the body yourself, never dim your light. No, I have to train it though, but don't dim your light, neighbor. For a hater. The one that's trying to discourage you, put you in competition, wasn't in rotation at the end of the day when it came to God's plan. The energy hits different, confidence, that motivation hits different. I love myself, not to dim my light. I love myself, not to dim my light.
Being authentic. The potential was always within you because God gave you a blueprint. They would never understand you being your biggest cheerleader. You was never doing it for likes and views when it came to God's reflection, allowing you to see why you maintain that smile when God fixes your crown. You didn't have to wow out. I may sound like a broken record, but humanity, you're worthy regardless overlooked you during your journey. Choosing you, understanding faith, that energy is different. You wasn't a mistake. It'd be days you got lost in your words, but who would have knew that confidence truly show up for you when you least expected going within. You know, healing trauma and pain is not a race or an overnight process, and I say that respectfully. It's not. But you matter and you're worthy, and I say that respectfully. Healing, trauma, and pain is not a race or an overnight process. I'm not your genuine respect. Always be yourself, but no listen to this. I'm far from a hater. When it comes to my creativity, I work alone. It's folks in the background trying to rob me mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. They say ain't nobody gonna hear my voice, but hold on 1 second. God has truly allowed me to feel that I'm truly worthy. That hand is just different. Everybody's walk of life ain't the same. Doesn't matter your culture, your religion, your sexual orientation, your disability, or let alone what you overcame. Let alone your tax bracket. Respect's a two-way street when you have to get physical. Speaking up for yourself, you ain't have malicious intentions. The enemy wanted to shortchange you, a vision they can relate to was gone within. Unconditional love allow you to feel. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. I may not make sense to the average person, but being yourself is not a crime, and I say that respectfully. I'm far from a hater. When someone says you don't have potential, never give up on yourself. I'm not your genuine love respect. Have a safe year, day, evening, week, weekend. You matter, you're worthy. Never give up on yourself. When I say that respectfully, when it comes to my creativity, I work alone. When it comes to gangstalking, hacking people's devices is really real. You think you probably be talking to the person that account it is, and you probably only be talking to them because of the fact that someone wanted to control the narrative of someone's life. Someone try to get them robbed mentally, physically, spiritually, even financially, put them in a cycle or get them locked up or whatever case may be to blackmail that innocent person because they was able to control the narrative of someone's life. Or because of the fact that they didn't want someone to elevate, they wanted to dim their light. How this type of stuff actually happens. And then someone doors gets closed. And nobody actually heard the end of the story besides the terror reader comic, let alone that witch, that warlock that was behind this whole entire time all their lives they had to abuse their gifts. All because they didn't want the innocent person to actually exist. How this type of stuff actually happens. My content is not for everyone. It's not just the internet that this type of stuff happens to. When folks go through this type of stuff, and I say that respectfully, my content is not for everyone. I'm far from a hater. Peace and respect to the neighbor. Stop the violence. You anywhere on them? You like go you neighbor on them? You like got your next door neighbor different tax bracket telling you everyone like a bad habit. They doing low frequency sending it to you. Doing come to me spells all types of stuff. Folks thinking they spell work is working, but God's really showing you to hold on 1 second. The devil's trying to knock on your door, disturb your peace, but continue to keep pushing. The energy is different when it comes to rotation. They trying to give you a sign within the sign. Showing you that they watching within watching, so it's like at your free will when it comes to your mental health, or because you was keeping it real. Someone said that your voice ain't gonna matter at the end of the day, because they able to control the narrative, shutting you up. Because nobody's gonna hear you, that's what they said. I would never hurt myself, good day, bad day, or misunderstand day. I'm far from a hater. I'm not your genuine respect, and my content is not for everyone. Always be yourself and no misintentions. Loving yourself is not a crime. Peace and respect to neighbor. I don't worship the devil. Good day, bad day, misunderstand day. When God sends directly into your life, they see you, they hear you, they respect you, attention. They don't look at you like competition. Good day, bad day, or misunderstand day. And I say that respectfully. The energy is different. They act in their body weight on their shoe size. They don't play with sport, let alone. They don't energy harvest off your energy, let alone. They don't gang stalk you and they don't blackmail you against you. Just like it's your free will when it comes to your conscience. And I say that respectfully. They want you to elevate, become your best self vision of yourself. Regardless if they came from poverty and pain or not, at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. Go on with them. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. Gang stalking is real. Folks hack your devices and act like that you talking. You think you talking to the actual person, but honestly, you probably not at the end of the day, because of the fact that they want to quiet somebody in the background, trying to rob them physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially, and even make them homeless. It's a chain of thought for me. My content is not for everyone. It's not. But always be yourself and no malicious intentions. I'm far from a hater, nice and respect. Loving yourself is not a crime. Don't get discouraged because someone tries to project the hate train towards you and they want you to dim your light to go, not going with them. But you matter, you're worthy. I'm nice and respect. Stop the violence. Peace and respect to neighbor. Stop the violence. You anyway, don't dim your light. Always be yourself and no malicious intentions. When someone says you don't have potential, never get discouraged, and I say that respectfully. You matter and you are worthy. My content is not for everyone. Thank you for your time. When it comes to my creativity, I work alone and I always have. Regardless of what platform it is, when it comes to me, and I say this respectfully, I'm authentic. Far from a copycat. Far from a hater. I know how to put respect on my neighbor's name when they came weather their own storm, and I say that respectfully. Always be yourself. I'm nice and respect. Have a good day.